I've been working at Wolf Industries for exactly 4 years, 2 months, and 13 days, and in all that time, the Wolf triplets have never once called me to the executive floor. Until today. My name is Damian Cross. I'm 26 years old, an Omega, and a junior financial analyst in a company run by three of the most powerful alphas in the industry. And right now, standing outside the top floor executive suite, my heart is pounding so hard I'm afraid they'll hear it through the door. The email came at 8 this morning. Terse, professional, terrifying. Mr. Cross, report to Executive Suite A at 9 a.m. Do not be late. K. Wolf. No context, no explanation, just a summons. I smooth down my shirt for the third time, check my reflection in the polished chrome beside the door. Dark hair, neat, tie straight, scent blockers firmly in place. I look professional, competent, like someone who deserves to be here. The lie helps. I knock. Enter. Kieran Wolf's voice, cold as winter. I step inside and immediately wish I hadn't. The executive suite is massive, all glass and steel and dark wood. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city. And in the center of it all, sitting at a conference table that probably costs more than my annual salary, are the Wolf triplets. Kieran, Rowan, and Atlas Wolf. 30 years old, identical in appearance, but completely different in everything else. Co-CEOs of Wolf Industries, worth billions collectively, and absolutely, categorically terrifying. Kieran sits at the head of the table, dark suit, perfect posture, expression carved from ice. He's the strategist, the one who speaks least but means every word. Rowan sits to his left, leaning back in his chair with deceptive casualness, charming smile, easy confidence, the diplomat who makes everyone feel comfortable right before he destroys them in negotiations. Atlas is on Kieran's right, laptop open, barely glancing up at me. The tech genius, the volatile one, the alpha who once made an entire department quit because his standards were impossible to meet. And all three of them are staring at me like I'm a problem that needs solving. Mr. Cross, Kieran says, not Damian, never Damian. In 4 years, they've never once used my first name. Sit. I sit. Rowan closes a folder. Atlas finally looks up from his laptop. All three sets of eyes storm gray, exactly identical, lock onto me. You're accompanying us to the Pine Ridge Summit this weekend, Kieran says. No preamble, no explanation, just a statement of fact. My stomach drops. The Investor Summit? Yes. Atlas's voice is sharp. Is that a problem? No. I swallow. I wasn't aware I was part of the presentation team. You are now, Rowan says smoothly. We need your Q4 projections for the pitch. The full analysis, not the summary you presented last week. The summary that Atlas had torn apart in front of the entire analytics department, pointing out inconsistencies that didn't actually exist. The summary I'd stayed up for 3 nights perfecting. Of course, I say, keeping my voice level. I can have the complete report ready by Friday. You'll bring it with you, Kieran says. We leave Friday at noon, pack for mountain weather. The summit is at Pine Ridge Resort. 3 days, 2 nights. 3 days. With the Wolf triplets, in a remote mountain resort. This is either a massive professional opportunity or a complete disaster waiting to happen. Understood, I manage. The correct projections this time, Atlas adds, and there's an edge to his voice that makes my jaw clench. Not the sloppy work you submitted last week. The projections weren't sloppy. They were perfect. I'd triple-checked every number, every formula, every assumption. But Atlas Wolf has been finding fault with my work since the day I started here, and nothing I do is ever good enough. I'll make sure everything is accurate, I say through gritted teeth. See that you do. Kieran stands, dismissing me with the gesture. That's all. I stand, turning toward the door when Rowan speaks. Damian? I freeze. He used my first name. I turn back. All three of them are watching me with expressions I can't read. Don't embarrass us at the summit, Rowan says quietly. We're bringing you because your work is solid. Keep it that way. It's the closest thing to a compliment I've ever gotten from any of them, and it shouldn't make my chest feel warm, but it does. I won't let you down, I say. Good, Kieran says. I leave before they can say anything else. Outside the suite, I lean against the wall and try to steady my breathing. My hands are shaking. Whether from anxiety or something else, I'm not sure. 4 years at Wolf Industries, and the triplets have been a constant, freezing presence in my life. They're brilliant, demanding, utterly professional, and they've treated me like I'm invisible since day one. Except when they're criticizing my work, or watching me across crowded conference rooms with expressions I can't decipher, or appearing at my desk with corrections to reports that were already flawless, like they're looking for excuses to interact with me. I've told myself 1,000 times that it means nothing, that they're just exacting bosses who hold everyone to impossible standards, that the weird tension I feel whenever they're near is just omega instinct responding to powerful alphas. But sometimes, late at night when I can't sleep, I let myself wonder if maybe there's something else. Then I remember that Kieran Wolf is engaged to Vivian Hale, beta heiress to Hale Technologies, in a match that's worth $50 million in business alliances. And I remember that I'm nobody, just a junior analyst who's good with numbers and completely, utterly out of their league. The car arrives at my apartment Friday at 11:30. It's not just any car. It's a sleek black SUV with tinted windows, the kind that screams corporate power in every line. The driver, a professional beta in a dark suit, takes my bag without a word and opens the rear door. I climb in and immediately regret every life choice that led to this moment. The Wolf triplets are already inside. Kieran sits in the front passenger seat, typing on his phone with focused intensity. Rowan and Atlas occupy the middle row, leaving the back row for me. "Mr. Cross," Rowan says pleasantly. "Right on time." I try. I manage, sliding into the back seat. The door closes. The driver starts the engine. And suddenly I'm trapped in an enclosed space with 3 alphas whose combined scent is already making my head spin despite the blockers. Sandalwood and frost, amber and smoke, mint and stone. Kieran, Rowan, Atlas. I can identify each of them by scent alone, which is absolutely not something I should be able to do, and definitely not something I should be thinking about right now. The car pulls into traffic. Outside, the city slides past. Inside, the silence is suffocating. I pull out my tablet, determined to look busy. The Q4 projections are perfect. I've checked them 17 times, but I open them anyway, scrolling through data I've already memorized. "Did you bring the Henderson contract analysis?" Atlas asks suddenly. I look up. He's watching me in the rearview mirror, expression unreadable. "Yes, it's in my bag." "And the revised market comparisons?" "Yes." "Supply chain contingency models?" "Also, yes." I keep my voice even. I have everything on the summit prep list, plus the supplementary materials you requested Wednesday. Something flickers in his eyes. "Good." He turns back to his own tablet, and I try not to feel like I just passed some kind of test. The drive to Pine Ridge Resort is 4 hours. 4 hours of tense silence, broken only by occasional murmured conversations between the triplets about business strategies and investor profiles. I watch the landscape change through the window. City gives way to suburbs, suburbs to countryside, countryside to mountains. The road winds higher, and snow begins to appear on the peaks in the distance. It's beautiful, peaceful. I try to focus on that instead of the way Rowan keeps glancing back at me every few minutes, or the way Kieran's shoulders are rigid with tension, or the way Atlas's jaw is clenched so tight it looks painful. After 2 hours, we stop at a rest area. I escape to the bathroom, splash cold water on my face, and give myself a stern mental lecture about professional boundaries and inappropriate thoughts about my bosses. It doesn't help. When I return to the car, Rowan is standing outside, phone to his ear, speaking in rapid French to someone about shipping delays. Kieran is inside, talking to the driver, and Atlas is leaning against the SUV, arms crossed, watching me approach with an intensity that makes my steps falter. "Mr. Cross," he says. "Mr. Wolf," I reply carefully. "The projections you brought, they're the same ones from last week, aren't they?" My jaw tightens. Yes, because they were correct the first time. I found 3 errors. "You found 3 places where my methodology differed from yours," I correct, unable to stop myself. "That doesn't make them errors. It makes them different approaches to the same problem." His eyes narrow. "Are you arguing with me?" I'm clarifying my work. For a long moment, we just stare at each other. Then something shifts in his expression, something almost like respect. "Good," he says quietly. Don't let me bully you into changing solid analysis just because I disagree with the approach. I blink. What? But he's already turning away, climbing back into the SUV. I stand there, completely confused, until Rowan ends his call and smiles at me. Don't mind Atlas, he says. He's been in a mood all week. He's always in a mood, I mutter before I can stop myself. Rowan's smile widens. True, but this week is special. Why? Because you're coming with us. He opens the car door for me, and he's not handling it well. Before I can ask what that means, he's gone, sliding into his seat and leaving me with more questions than answers. The last 2 hours of the drive pass in similar fashion. Tension, silence, and the growing awareness that something is wrong. The triplets are too tense, too careful not to look at me, too obviously avoiding any conversation that isn't strictly business. And I can't shake the feeling that I'm missing something important. Then, an hour from the resort, the snow starts falling. At first, it's gentle, pretty, even. Fat white flakes drifting past the windows. But within 20 minutes, it's a blizzard. The driver slows to a crawl. Visibility drops to almost nothing. The windshield wipers work frantically, barely keeping up with the onslaught. This wasn't in the forecast, Kieran says, voice tight. Mountain weather, the driver replies. It changes fast up here. Another 10 minutes, and we're barely moving. We should turn back, Atlas says. We're closer to the resort than to the city, Rowan counters. Better to push forward. The car inches along. I watch the snow pile up on the road with growing dread. Then the driver stops completely. I can't see the road anymore, he says. We need to find shelter. Now, how far to Pine Ridge? Kieran demands. About 20 miles, but there's a small lodge about 2 miles back, the Frosted Pine. It's not fancy, but it'll have to do. Kieran's jaw works. Turn around, carefully. The SUV executes a painfully slow 3-point turn on the narrow mountain road. I hold my breath the entire time, certain we're about to slide off into a ravine. But we make it. 2 miles feels like 20 in the blizzard. When we finally pull into the parking lot of a rustic wooden building with a hand-painted sign reading The Frosted Pine Lodge, I've never been so relieved to see civilization. The lobby is chaos. Stranded travelers pack the space, all of them clearly caught by the same sudden storm. The air is thick with the smell of wet wool, wood smoke, and too many bodies in too small a space. Behind the front desk, an elderly beta woman with silver hair looks frazzled. Welcome to Frosted Pine, she says automatically. How can I owe? She takes in the 4 of us, clearly expensive suits now dusted with snow, and her expression shifts. Let me guess, caught in the storm? Yes, Kieran says. We need rooms for the night. Just the night? She looks out at the blizzard. Honey, you're looking at 2, maybe 3 days of this. Roads won't be passable until it clears. My stomach drops. 3 days trapped here? We'll take whatever you have available, Rowan says smoothly. The manager consults a worn ledger. I've got 1 room left. Last one. Queen bed. Take it or sleep in the lobby. Silence. 1 room. 1 bed. 4 of us. We'll take it, Kieran says without hesitation. Wait, I start, but his hand on my arm stops me. We don't have a choice, he says quietly. Look around. I do. Every chair in the lobby is occupied. People are already setting up makeshift sleeping areas on the floor. Fine, I manage. The manager takes Kieran's credit card, processes the payment, and hands over a key. Room 7, upstairs, end of the hall. Common room serves dinner until 8. Breakfast at dawn if the storm breaks. She pauses, looking between the 4 of us with knowing eyes. You boys traveling together for business? Yes, Atlas says quickly. Too quickly. He's our associate. Her expression says she doesn't believe him for a second, but she just smiles. Uh-huh. Associate? Well, you boys stay warm up there. The way she says it makes my face heat. We climb the stairs in silence. The hallway is narrow, dimly lit, smelling of old wood and candle wax. Room 7 is at the end. Kieran unlocks the door, pushes it open, and we all stare. The room is tiny. 1 queen bed dominates the space. There's a small chair by a window, a fireplace that looks like it hasn't been cleaned in months, and a washstand in the corner. That's it. This is insane, I say. I'll sleep in the lobby. You'll freeze, Kieran says flatly. The manager said they're rationing firewood. The lobby will be freezing by midnight. Then I'll ask for more blankets. Damien, Rowan's voice is gentle. Stop arguing. We'll figure this out. It's the first time he's used my first name all day, and it makes me pause. We can take shifts, Atlas says, already analyzing the space. Someone in the chair, 2 on the floor. It's manageable for 1 night. And if it's 3 nights, I demand. Then we adjust. Kieran sets down his bag. This isn't ideal, but it's what we have. I want to argue more. Want to insist this is inappropriate and wrong and absolutely not going to work. But looking at the 3 of them, seeing the determination in their faces, I know I've already lost this fight. Fine, I say, but I'm taking the floor. Like hell you are, all 3 of them say simultaneously. The unity of it is almost funny. You're taking the bed, Kieran says. That's not negotiable. I'm not taking the bed while you 3. Damien, Atlas's voice is sharp. Take the damn bed. Something in his tone makes me fall silent. We settle in, or try to. The awkwardness is suffocating. Rowan attempts to start a fire, coaxing reluctant flames from damp wood. Kieran makes calls, trying to reach the summit organizers to explain our delay. Atlas sits in the chair, laptop open, working like he's not in a tiny mountain lodge during a blizzard. And I stand by the window, watching snow fall in sheets, wondering how my professional life just became a disaster movie. Dinner in the common room is tense. We sit at a long table with other stranded travelers, all of us picking at lukewarm stew and bread that's seen better days. The wolf triplets draw attention. They can't help it. 3 identical, devastatingly handsome alphas in expensive suits, radiating power and wealth even in this rustic setting. People stare, whisper, wonder who we are and what we're doing here. I try to make myself invisible. I'm good at that. But then Rowan passes me the salt without being asked, anticipating what I need before I voice it. Kieran quietly switches my water glass for his when he notices mine is chipped. Atlas wordlessly hands me his roll when he sees I've finished mine. Small gestures, meaningless probably, except they feel like care. After dinner, we trudge back upstairs. The hallway is colder now, the storm's chill seeping through the old building's walls. Inside room 7, reality sets in. 1 bed, 4 people. A night that's going to be very, very long. I'll take first shift in the chair, Rowan offers. No, I will, I insist. Damien, I'm the lowest ranking person here, I say firmly. I'll take the chair. You 3 take the bed. That's not how this works, Kieran says. Then how does it work? I challenge. Because right now, this is completely inappropriate, and I'm trying to maintain some semblance of professional boundaries. Professional boundaries went out the window the moment we got trapped in a blizzard, Atlas mutters. Still, I'm not taking the bed. We argue in circles for 20 minutes. Finally, exhausted and frustrated, we reach a compromise. Kieran will take the chair. Rowan and Atlas will take the floor with the spare blankets the manager grudgingly provided. I'll take the bed. It's not ideal, but it's something. I change in the tiny bathroom, keeping my clothes on except for my shoes and jacket. No way am I undressing with 3 alphas in the next room. When I emerge, the others are settling into their positions. Kieran in the chair, coat draped over him like a blanket. Rowan and Atlas on the floor, on opposite sides of the bed, thin blankets pulled tight. The fire Rowan built is already dying. I climb into bed, fully clothed, and lie there staring at the ceiling. This is fine. This is professional. Your heart is racing. Atlas's voice comes from the darkness near the floor. We can hear it. Of course they can. Alpha hearing. I'm fine, I lie. You're stressed. Kieran's voice from the chair, calm and analytical. Your scent is sharper. More coffee, less rain. They can smell me through my blockers. Great. I'm fine, I repeat. Silence falls. Outside, the wind howls, the window rattles, the temperature drops. I try to sleep, I really do. But I can hear them. Hear Kieran shift uncomfortably in the too small chair. Hear Rowan's teeth chatter despite his efforts to stay quiet. Hear Atlas's harsh breathing as he tries to ignore the cold. By midnight, I can't stand it anymore. This is stupid, I say into the darkness. The bed is big enough for 2, maybe 3 people. We're fine, Atlas says, but his voice is shaking. You're freezing, all of you. I sit up. I'm not gonna lie here listening to you 3 get hypothermia because you're too stubborn to share a bed. Damien, Kieran starts. I'm an adult, you're adults. We can share sleeping space without it being weird. It's not about being weird, Rowan says quietly. It's about being appropriate. Nothing about this situation is appropriate. I pull back the blanket. Kieran, Atlas, get in the bed. Rowan, take the chair. No one moves. That's an order, I say, then immediately realize how ridiculous that sounds. I don't give them orders, ever. But somehow, it works. Maybe because I sound so certain. Maybe because they're too cold to argue anymore. Kieran stands from the chair, moves to the bed. Atlas follows, reluctantly. We arrange ourselves carefully. Kieran on the left edge, me in the middle, Atlas on the right edge. There's at least 6 inches between each of us. No one's touching. It's painfully awkward. This is fine, I say to the ceiling. Completely fine, Kieran agrees. Totally normal, Atlas adds. Rowan's quiet laugh from the chair suggests he doesn't believe any of us. But slowly, warmth begins to build. The shared body heat makes the freezing room slightly more bearable. I close my eyes and try to pretend I'm anywhere else. Somewhere around 3 a.m., I wake up warm. Confused, I try to figure out why. The fire died hours ago. The room should be freezing. Then I realize I'm pressed against Kieran's chest. His arm is around my waist. Atlas is spooned behind me, his leg tangled with mine. Somewhere in our sleep we'd gravitated together, seeking warmth, seeking comfort, seeking something we'd never admit to wanting while awake. I should move, should wake them, should reestablish those careful inches of space. But Kieran smells like sandalwood and frost, and it's the most comforting thing I've ever experienced. And Atlas's warmth against my back feels safe in a way I can't explain. Just a few more minutes, I tell myself. Then I'll move. But those few minutes stretch, and I'm still there, wrapped in warmth and scent and something that feels dangerously like belonging, when Kieran wakes. I feel him go rigid. Damien, he says quietly. Atlas wakes behind me, realizes the position, bolts out of bed like it's on fire. This didn't happen, Atlas says, voice rough. Agreed, Kieran says, already putting distance between us. The cold rushes in where their warmth had been. Rowan, still in the chair, watches all of this with an expression I can't read. Good morning to you too, he says dryly. The awkwardness from last night has evolved into something worse. We move around each other like strangers, careful not to touch, not to look too long, not to acknowledge what happened. After washing up in the tiny bathroom and changing shirts, I head downstairs to the common room. The manager is serving breakfast. Weak coffee and oatmeal that's somehow both watery and lumpy. I take a bowl and find a seat by the window, watching snow continue to fall. The storm hasn't broken. If anything, it's worse. Mind if I join you? I look up. A man stands there, holding a coffee cup, smiling pleasantly. He's maybe 32, well-dressed even by stranded traveler standards, with the kind of polished confidence that speaks of money and power. Sure, I say, because refusing would be rude. He sits, extending his hand. Blake Sutherland. I freeze. Blake Sutherland, CEO of Sutherland Corp., one of Wolf Industries' biggest competitors. And he's here, at this lodge, during the same storm. That's not a coincidence. Damien Cross, I manage, shaking his hand. I know who you are. His smile widens. Junior analyst at Wolf Industries. Brilliant work on the Kendrick merger analysis last quarter. I tried to poach you after reading it. He did. HR had mentioned it. I declined without even considering it. Thank you, I say carefully. So, Blake leans back, studying me. Funny seeing you here. What brings you to this lovely establishment? Storm, same as everyone else. And where exactly are the Wolf triplets? I assume they're here somewhere, since you're their +1 for the Pine Ridge Summit. My blood goes cold. He knows about the summit, which means he's competition for the same investor deal. They're around, I say vaguely. And where did you all sleep last night? I know the lodge was completely full. It's a trap. A carefully laid trap. We managed, I say. I'm sure you did. His eyes glitter. 4 of you, 1 room. Must have been cozy. Before I can respond, a familiar voice cuts through the common room. Sutherland. I turn. Rowan stands there, coffee in hand, expression pleasant but eyes absolutely glacial. Rowan Wolf. Blake stands, all charm. What a surprise. Is it? Rowan moves to stand beside my chair. His hand rests on the back of it, casual, possessive. Funny how we keep ending up at the same investor events. Funny how you keep bringing your junior analysts to said events. Blake's gaze moves between us. Or is Mr. Cross more than just an analyst? He's part of our team, Rowan says smoothly. Is there a problem with that? No problem at all. Blake's smile doesn't reach his eyes. Just making conversation, getting to know the competition. We're not competitors with our own employees, Sutherland. Of course not. Blake finishes his coffee. Well, I'll let you two get back to whatever you were doing. Damien, lovely chatting with you. He leaves. The moment he's gone, I turn to Rowan. That wasn't coincidence. No. Rowan sits in the chair Blake vacated. He's after the Hartley investment deal, same as us. And now he knows we're here, trapped. Yes, this is bad. Potentially. Rowan studies me. What did you tell him? Nothing. I said we managed sleeping arrangements, that's all. Good. Something in his expression softens. Don't let him rattle you. Blake Sutherland is good at finding leverage. Don't give him any. Too late, I mutter. He already knows we're sharing a room. He suspects we're sharing a room, Rowan corrects. That's different from knowing. How? Because suspicion requires proof, and we're not giving him any. He says it with such certainty that I almost believe him. Back in the room, Kieran and Atlas are in crisis mode. Sutherland is here, Kieran says without preamble. This changes everything. I know. I close the door. He cornered me at breakfast. All 3 alphas go very still. What did he say? Atlas demands. He asked where we slept, implied it was inappropriate for all of us to be in one room. Kieran's jaw tightens. What did you tell him? That we managed. Nothing specific. Good. Kieran starts pacing. He's going to use this. Twist it. Make it look like. He trails off. Like what? I ask. Rowan answers quietly. Like you're trading sexual favors for career advancement. The words hit like a slap. That's insane, I say. We're just colleagues stuck in a storm. Are you really that naive? Atlas runs a hand through his hair. We're 3 unmated alphas sharing a room with an unmated omega. You know what people will assume. That we're professionals who can handle an emergency situation? That we've claimed you, Kieran says bluntly. Silence. My heart is pounding. That's ridiculous. You 3 barely tolerate me. Is that what you think? Rowan's voice is quiet. That we barely tolerate you? You've been cold to me for 4 years. You criticize every report I submit. You act like I'm invisible unless you're finding fault with my work. The 3 of them exchange glances. We don't hate you, Kieran says finally. Then what is it? I'm so tired. Tired of the games, the mixed signals, the confusion. What am I to you? Because from where I'm standing, I'm either incompetent or invisible, and I can't figure out which. More silence. Then Atlas, quietly. Neither. Then what? No one answers. The day drags on. The storm doesn't break. We're trapped. We try to work. Try to prepare for the summit that we might never reach. But the tension is suffocating. By evening, I can't stand it anymore. I go downstairs, find a quiet corner near the fire, and try to pretend everything is normal. Blake finds me again. Mr. Cross, we meet again. I sigh. Mr. Sutherland. Please, call me Blake. He sits without invitation. I wanted to apologize if I made you uncomfortable earlier. You didn't, I lie. Good. He leans forward conspiratorially. I also wanted to make you an offer. I'm not interested in changing companies. Not that kind of offer. His smile is sharp. I want to help you. Help me with what? Whatever situation you're in with the Wolf triplets. My blood runs cold. I'm not in a situation. Aren't you? His voice drops. Damien, I've been in this industry a long time. I know what it looks like when powerful alphas take advantage of vulnerable omegas. No one's taking advantage of me. Then why are you sharing a room with them, all three of them? We got stuck in a storm. And they couldn't find separate accommodations? Couldn't put you in your own space? Blake's expression is sympathetic, calculated. Or did they not want to? You're twisting this. Am I? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like 3 CEOs brought their junior analyst on a business trip, got conveniently trapped in a blizzard, and now you're in a very compromising position. It's not like that. Then what is it like? He waits. Because if they've pressured you, if they've made you feel like you have to share their space, that's coercion, and I can help you. I don't need help. Don't you? He pulls out a business card. My number. Call me if things get uncomfortable. I have lawyers who specialize in workplace harassment. He leaves the card on the table and walks away. I stare at it, hands shaking. He's wrong. The triplets haven't harassed me, haven't pressured me. But the fact that it looks like they have, that Blake can make that argument and have it sound plausible, that's terrifying. I pocket the card and go back upstairs. The triplets are waiting. Where were you? Kieran asks. Downstairs. Getting air. Sutherland was asking about you, Rowan says carefully. I know. He found me. All 3 of them go rigid. What did he say? Atlas demands. I tell them. Everything. The offer to help, the implications of coercion, the business card. By the time I finish, Kieran looks murderous. He's trying to build a harassment case, he says. Make it look like we're abusing our power. But you're not, I say. Aren't we? Atlas laughs bitterly. We brought you on this trip. We're sharing a room with you. We're your bosses. From the outside, it looks exactly like what he's saying. But it's not, I insist. How do we prove that? Rowan asks quietly. No one has an answer. Night falls. The storm continues. We face another night in this tiny room. This time, no one argues about sleeping arrangements. We're too exhausted. Kieran takes the chair. Rowan and Atlas take the floor. I take the bed. We try to maintain distance, maintain propriety. It doesn't work. By midnight, the cold is unbearable. The fire died again. The blankets are too thin. I can hear them shivering. This is stupid, I say into the darkness. Same words as last night. Damien, Kieran starts. Get in the bed. All of you. I'm not listening to you freeze to death because Blake Sutherland might twist this into something it's not. He will twist it, Atlas says. Let him. We know the truth. Do we? Kieran's voice is strange. What is the truth, Damien? I don't know how to answer that. But I know I can't let them suffer in the cold because of appearances. The truth is we're stuck in a blizzard. The truth is sharing body heat is survival, not sex. The truth is I stop. The truth is I trust you, even if I don't understand you. Silence. Then movement. Kieran stands from the chair. Atlas rises from the floor. Rowan follows. They climb into the bed. Careful, cautious, leaving space between us. But this time, the space feels different. Less like a barrier and more like a question. How close can we get before this becomes something we can't take back? I lie there, hyper-aware of every breath, every movement. And then, quietly, Atlas speaks. We don't hate you. You said that already, I whisper. I don't think you believed us. His voice is rough. So I'm saying it again. We don't hate you, Damien. Then what do you feel? Long silence. Then Rowan, from somewhere in the darkness, too much. My breath catches. What does that mean? It means, Kieran says quietly, that we've been fighting something for a very long time. Fighting what? No one answers. I turn onto my side, trying to see them in the darkness. Why won't you just tell me? Because once we say it, Atlas says, we can't take it back. Say what? More silence. Then, that we want you, Rowan says simply. All 3 of us have wanted you since the day you walked into Wolf Industries 4 years ago. The world tilts. That's not funny, I manage. It's not a joke. Kieran's voice is closer than I expected. We've been trying to stay away from you, Damien. Trying to maintain distance. Trying to kill what we feel. By criticizing my work? By treating me like I'm invisible? By not treating you the way we wanted to, Atlas says roughly. Because if we let ourselves get too close, we'd... He stops. You'd what? My heart is racing. We'd want to claim you, Kieran finishes, and that would be inappropriate, coercive, everything we've tried so hard not to be. I can't breathe. Can't think. This isn't real, I whisper. You're engaged, Kieran, to Vivian Hale. I know. His voice is hollow. A $50 million alliance that I've hated every second of. Then why? Because our father arranged it. Because breaking it would damage the company. Because I thought I could go through with a loveless marriage if it meant protecting what we've built. And now? Now I'm in a room with the one person I can't have, and I'm realizing I can't do it anymore. Tears burn my eyes. You expect me to believe you three have been secretly attracted to me while treating me like I'm barely worth your time? Yes, Atlas says. That's insane. It's the truth. Rowan shifts closer. I can feel his warmth now. Every time you walked into a meeting, every time you presented your work, every time you smiled at someone else in the office, we wanted to lock you in our office and never let you leave. I don't have words. Possessive, irrational, obsessive? Kieran supplies. Yes, all of that. Welcome to being an unmated alpha around your fated mate. Fated mate. The words echo in my head. I'm not your fated mate, I say weakly. Your scent says otherwise, Atlas says. Coffee and rain. We can smell it 3 floors away, even through your blockers. And it drives us absolutely insane, Rowan adds. I should be angry, should be offended, should be something other than this terrified, hopeful, desperate feeling blooming in my chest. You're lying, I say. You have to be lying. Why would we lie about this? Kieran asks, do you think it's easy to admit we've spent 4 years wanting our employee? That we've been fighting every instinct we have to stay professional? Then why tell me now? Because we're trapped in a room with you, Atlas says harshly. Because we can't maintain the distance anymore. Because pretending is killing us. I sit up, needing space, needing air. This is insane. Yesterday you could barely look at me. Because looking at you hurts, Rowan says quietly. Because every time we do, we remember what we can't have. You can't have me because you won't try. I say, voice breaking. Kieran, you're engaged to someone you don't love. You're all hiding behind professionalism and propriety and fear. We're hiding behind the reality that claiming you would destroy your career, Kieran says. People would say you slept your way to the top, that you're just an omega using alphas for advancement. Let them say it, I challenge. We won't let you be ruined for us. That's my choice to make. Silence falls, heavy and charged. Then Atlas, rough and desperate. What are you saying? I'm saying, I take a shaky breath. I'm saying, I've spent 4 years thinking you three hated me. 4 years working twice as hard to prove I deserve to be at Wolf Industries. And now you're telling me it was all because you were attracted to me? Yes, they say in unison. I don't know if I can believe you. Then let us prove it, Rowan says. How? Give us a chance, Kieran says quietly. Let us court you, properly, publicly. You're engaged. I'll break it. That'll cost your company millions. I don't care, Kieran says, and the certainty in his voice makes my breath catch. I'll end it. Today. Right now, if I could get cell service in this damn storm. And Blake Sutherland? I ask. He's going to use this against us. Let him try, Atlas says darkly. He's already building a harassment case. Then we make it clear you're not being harassed. Rowan interrupts. We make it clear you're being courted, that this is consensual, that anyone who questions your integrity is questioning ours. People will talk. Let them, Kieran says. I look at all 3 of them, barely visible in the darkness, and realize they're serious, completely serious. What are you asking for? I whisper. Permission, Rowan says simply. Permission to stop pretending, to stop fighting this, to choose you the way we've wanted to for 4 years. My heart is pounding so hard I can barely hear over it. And if I say yes? If I let you court me? What happens to my career, to my reputation? We protect both, Kieran says. We make it clear you're ours by choice, not coercion. We promote you to partner, which you've earned regardless, so no one can say you're trading favors for advancement. Partner? I breathe. You should have been promoted 2 years ago, Atlas says. We held you back because promoting you meant working more closely with you, and we were trying to maintain distance. You held back my career because you were attracted to me? Anger flares. Yes, Kieran says bluntly. It was wrong. We know that. We'll make it right. By promoting me now? That'll look exactly like what Blake's accusing you of. By promoting you with a full board review, Rowan says. Public, transparent. Based on your work, not our relationship. And if I say no, I ask, if I don't want this? The silence that follows is painful. Then nothing changes, Kieran says finally. We go back to Wolf Industries. You remain our analyst. We maintain distance. We pretend this conversation never happened. Could you do that? I challenge. Could you really go back to pretending? No, Atlas says honestly. But we'd try. For you. I close my eyes, trying to process this, trying to think rationally. But all I can think about is 4 years of loneliness. 4 years of wondering why the 3 most brilliant alphas I'd ever met treated me like I was simultaneously invisible and under a microscope. 4 years of telling myself they were out of my league. And now they're telling me they wanted me all along. I need time, I say. I need to think. Take all the time you need, Rowan says gently. But when I lie back down, when I feel their warmth on either side of me, when I breathe in sandalwood and amber and mint, I realize I don't need time. I already know my answer. I just don't know if I'm brave enough to say it. Morning comes with gray light and continued snow. We don't talk about last night. We move around each other with careful politeness, like the conversation in the darkness was the dream we all shared. But I catch them watching me, catch the hope in their eyes, the fear. The manager announces the storm won't break today, maybe not tomorrow either. We're stuck here, no escape. Blake finds me at breakfast again. Mr. Cross, you look troubled. I'm fine, I say automatically. Are you? He sits across from me. Because I've been thinking about your situation. There is no situation. Humor me, he leans forward. 3 powerful alphas, 1 Omega employee, forced proximity. It's a recipe for disaster. Or it's just bad weather. Is it? His eyes are sharp. Because I did some research last night. Called a few colleagues. Turns out you've been working at Wolf Industries for 4 years without a single promotion. My stomach sinks. That's unusual, Blake continues. For someone with your talents, unless there's a reason they're holding you back. There's no reason. Or maybe there is. Maybe they've been keeping you in a junior position to maintain power over you, to keep you dependent on them. That's not. It's a classic manipulation tactic, Damien. Keep the Omega grateful, indebted, unable to leave because they need the job. I could leave anytime I want. Could you? He tilts his head. Because from what I hear, you've turned down every other offer that's come your way, including mine. Why is that? I don't have a good answer. I'll tell you what I think, Blake says quietly. I think they've made you feel like you owe them something, like staying is loyalty instead of just fear of change. You're wrong. Am I? He slides a folder across the table. This is a formal offer. Position at Sutherland Corp. Double your current salary. Your own team. No strings attached. I stare at the folder. You don't have to answer now, Blake says. But think about it. Think about what you're worth, what you deserve. And ask yourself if the Wolf triplets have ever truly valued you, or if they've just been using you. He leaves. I sit there, staring at the folder, hands shaking. A voice behind me. Don't listen to him. I turn. Kieran stands there, expression tight. How much did you hear? Enough. He sits in the chair Blake vacated. He's trying to manipulate you. Is he? Because the promotion thing was wrong, Kieran interrupts. We've already admitted that. We held you back for the wrong reasons. And now you're offering to fix it. Convenient timing. It's not convenient, it's necessary. His jaw works. Damien, we've handled this badly. All of it. The distance, the criticism, the promotion delays. We were trying to be professional, and instead, we just hurt you. You think? I know. He reaches across the table, stops just short of touching my hand. But Blake Sutherland doesn't care about your career. He cares about hurting us. And if making you doubt us accomplishes that, he'll do it. Maybe I should doubt you, I say quietly. Maybe I should take his offer. Something flickers in Kieran's eyes. Pain. You could, he says. You'd be brilliant at Sutherland Corp. You'd excel, and we'd have no right to stop you. But it would destroy us. His voice is rough. Losing you would destroy us, even though we never really had you to lose. Kieran, I'm ending my engagement, he says abruptly. The moment we get cell service back, I'm calling Vivian and ending it. You can't. I can. I should have done it years ago. He finally takes my hand. His grip is warm, steady. I've been a coward, Damien, hiding behind duty and propriety and fear. But I'm done hiding. Your father will be furious. My father isn't living my life. His eyes meet mine. I am. And I'm not wasting another day pretending I don't love you. The words stop my heart. You don't love me, I whisper. You barely know me. I've watched you for 4 years. I've read every report you've written. I've listened to you present strategies that were better than mine. I've seen you fight for your ideas even when we pushed back. I know you, Damien, and I love you. Tears burn my eyes. That's not fair. I know. You can't just say things like that and expect. I'm not expecting anything. He squeezes my hand gently. I'm just telling you the truth. Finally, 4 years too late, but still true. Kieran, the others feel the same way. He continues. Rowan, Atlas, we've all been in love with you for years, fighting it, hating ourselves for feeling it. And now, we're asking for a chance. What if I'm not worth it? The question tears out of me. What if you give up your engagement, your father's approval, your company's alliances, and I'm just not enough? You are enough. His voice is fierce. You've always been enough. We're the ones who weren't strong enough to fight for you. I want to believe him. God, I want to believe him. But 4 years of doubt, 4 years of feeling invisible, can't be erased by one conversation. I need to think, I say again. I know. He releases my hand, stands. Take your time. We'll wait. He leaves me sitting there with Blake's offer and Kieran's confession and no idea what to do with either. The day passes in a blur. I avoid everyone, hide in the room, staring at the falling snow, trying to sort through my feelings. The triplets give me space. Don't push. Don't pressure. Which somehow makes it harder. By evening, I can't take it anymore. I go downstairs, find them in the common room, sitting together at a table, planning, strategizing, being the brilliant alphas they are. I stand there for a moment, watching them. Kieran, controlled and analytical. Rowan, charming and diplomatic. Atlas, intense and brilliant. 3 men who've terrified me and fascinated me in equal measure for 4 years. 3 men who claim they love me. I take a breath and approach the table. They look up. All 3 sets of gray eyes lock on me. Can we talk? I ask. Privately? We go back to the room. Once the door is closed, I turn to face them. I need you to be honest with me. Completely honest. No games, no manipulation, no trying to protect me from hard truths. Okay, Kieran says carefully. Did you hold back my promotion because you were attracted to me? Yes, Atlas says bluntly. Did you criticize my work not because it was bad, but because you were looking for excuses to interact with me? Yes, Rowan admits. Did you bring me on this trip knowing it might lead to this? I gesture between us. Silence. Then Kieran, no. We brought you because your analysis was essential for the pitch, but did we hope proximity might change things? Yes. I nod slowly. And if I say yes to being courted, what happens? We promote you to partner, Kieran says. Public board review, transparent process. We announce we're courting you. We make it clear it's consensual, that you have full autonomy, that our professional relationship doesn't compromise your position. And Blake Sutherland? We handle him, Atlas says darkly. How? Leave that to us, Rowan says. No. I shake my head. If I'm doing this, I'm not some omega you're protecting. I'm your equal. So tell me, how do you handle Blake? The 3 of them exchange glances. He's planning to spread rumors, Kieran says finally. Imply harassment. We counter by being completely transparent. We announce our relationship publicly before he can twist it. That'll cause a scandal. Probably, Rowan agrees. But a scandal we control is better than one Blake controls. And your engagement? I ask Kieran. Already ended. He pulls out his phone. Cell service came back an hour ago. I called Vivian. She was relieved, actually. My eyes widen. Relieved? The engagement was as miserable for her as it was for me, Kieran says. She's been in love with her assistant for 2 years. Now she's free to pursue that. And your father? Furious. Disowned me via text message 30 minutes ago. The casual way he says it makes my breath catch. Kieran, it's fine. His smile is real. I have my own money, my own shares in the company. He can't actually remove me as CEO. He just can't pretend to approve of me anymore. Is that really fine? It's worth it. His eyes meet mine. If it means I get to choose you, the weight of that, of what he's giving up, settles over me. You're serious, I breathe. All of you, you're really serious about this. Yes, all three say together. I look at each of them in turn. Kieran, who broke an engagement and lost his father's approval. Rowan, who's been protecting me in secret for years. Atlas, who hid his feelings behind criticism because he couldn't handle being near me. 3 powerful alphas who've apparently been in love with me while I thought they could barely stand me. It's insane. It's impossible. It's... Yes, I hear myself say. They go very still. Yes? Kieran repeats carefully. Yes, I'll let you court me. All 3 of you. I take a shaky breath. But I have conditions. Name them, Atlas says immediately. The promotion happens regardless of whether this works out. I don't want it contingent on our relationship. Done, Kieran agrees. If this falls apart, if you realize I'm not what you wanted, I don't lose my job. You'll never lose your job, Rowan says fiercely. Regardless of what happens between us, you've earned your place at Wolf Industries. And we do this my way, my pace. You don't get to use your positions as CEOs to pressure me. Agreed, all 3 say. I study them, looking for any sign of deception, any hint that this is manipulation. But all I see is hope, desperate, terrified hope. Okay, I say softly. Then yes, let's try this. Kieran moves first, crossing the space between us, cupping my face with both hands. You're sure? He asks. No, I admit. I'm terrified. But I'm sure I want to try. That's enough. He leans down, presses his forehead to mine. That's more than enough. Rowan and Atlas move closer, surrounding me with warmth and scent and the promise of something I'm not sure I believe in yet. But I want to. God, I want to. What now? I whisper. Now, Kieran says, we deal with Blake Sutherland. The next morning, we find Blake at breakfast. The triplets don't give him a chance to speak first. Sutherland, Kieran says coldly, we need to talk. Blake looks up, smiling. Of course. What about? About the rumors you've been spreading about our relationship with Damien. The smile freezes. I haven't spread any rumors. Not yet, Rowan says pleasantly. But you were planning to. The harassment implications. The suggestions of coercion. We're here to save you the trouble. I don't know what you... Damien Cross is our Omega, Atlas says bluntly. We're courting him, all 3 of us, with his full consent and enthusiastic participation. Blake's eyes widen. You're publicly claiming him? Yes, Kieran says. So if you were planning to imply anything inappropriate about our relationship, you should know that we'll defend his reputation and ours with every resource we have. This is... Blake looks between us. This is professional suicide. You're admitting to a relationship with your employee. We're admitting to courting our soon-to-be partner, Rowan corrects. Damien is being promoted. Board review next week. Everything transparent and above board. People will still talk. Let them, I say, speaking for the first time. I'm not ashamed of this, and neither are they. Blake stares at me. You're really choosing this? Choosing them? Yes. You realize what this will do to your reputation. I realize what spreading lies about harassment would do to my reputation. I counter. This way, at least I control the narrative. Something shifts in Blake's expression. Respect, maybe. You're smarter than I gave you credit for, he says finally. I know. He stands, extends his hand. No hard feelings? I shake it. No promises. He laughs, actually laughs. Fair enough. Good luck with the summit, if we ever get there. He walks away. The moment he's gone, I sag against Kieran. That was terrifying. I breathe. You were perfect, Kieran says, arm around my waist. We should probably call the board, Rowan says. Get ahead of this before Blake does. Already done, Atlas says, holding up his phone. Sent the announcement 10 minutes ago. Damien's promotion. Our relationship. All of it. You what? I stare at him. We're not hiding anymore, he says simply. Why wait? My phone starts buzzing, then buzzing more. Messages, emails, calls. The announcement went out to the entire company. Oh God, I whisper. It's fine, Kieran says. It's not fine. Everyone's going to think that we're courting you, Rowan finishes, which is true. That I slept my way to a promotion. That you earned a promotion that was 4 years overdue, Atlas corrects. And anyone who says otherwise answers to us. The storm breaks that afternoon. The road's clear. The summit organizers reschedule for the following week. We drive back to the city in silence, but this time, the silence is different. Charged, hopeful, terrifying. When we reach the Wolf Industries building, there's a crowd of press outside. They know. I breathe. Let them, Kieran says. We walk in together. The triplets flank me, a united front. The press shouts questions. Cameras flash. Inside, employees stare. Whisper. Judge. I keep my head high and let the triplets guide me to the elevator. Once we're alone, Atlas speaks. You okay? No, I admit. But I will be. We've got you, Rowan says. And looking at the three of them, seeing the determination in their eyes, I believe him. The board meeting happens 3 days later. They review my work. 4 years of reports, analyses, strategies. The vote is unanimous. Promotion to partner. Some board members congratulate me warmly. Others give me looks that say they think I bought the position with my body. I don't care. I earned this. After the meeting, we have dinner. Just the four of us. At a restaurant, in public, where people can see. Kieran holds my hand on the table. Rowan keeps finding excuses to touch my shoulder. Atlas watches me with possessive intensity. And I let them. Because this is real now. Public. Undeniable. How are you feeling? Kieran asks. Terrified, I admit. Excited. Confused. That's fair, Rowan says. Are you sure about this? I ask. All of this? Because there's still time to back out before... No, all three say firmly. We're not backing out, Kieran says. We're all in, Damien. Completely. For however long you'll have us, Atlas adds. I look at them, these three brilliant, infuriating, impossible alphas who've turned my world upside down. Okay, I say softly. Then I'm all in too. The smile that breaks across Kieran's face is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. 6 months later, we're at the annual Wolf Industries Gala. I'm bonded to all three of them now. Pack bond, formed 2 months ago in a private ceremony with just family. The scandal has mostly died down. Some people still whisper, some still judge. But I'm a partner now. My work speaks for itself. And the triplets make it very clear that I'm theirs. We're at our table, laughing at something Rowan said, when I catch Kieran watching me with soft eyes. What? I ask. Just thinking about that blizzard, he says. The worst storm of my life, I tease. The best storm of mine, he counters. 1 room, 1 bed, Atlas says, shaking his head. And the hotel manager who thought we were already together, Rowan adds, laughing. She knew before we did, I say. Smart woman, Kieran says, pulling me close. I lean into him, breathing in sandalwood and frost, and think about how different my life is now. 6 months ago, I thought the Wolf triplets hated me. Now I'm bonded to them, partnered with them professionally, building a life with them. Do you ever regret it? I ask quietly. Breaking your engagement? Fighting your father? Causing the scandal? Never, Kieran says firmly. Not once, Rowan agrees. Best decision we ever made, Atlas finishes. Even though it was a disaster? Especially because it was a disaster, Kieran says. Sometimes the best things come from the worst circumstances. Like being trapped in a blizzard. Like being forced to admit what we'd been hiding for 4 years, he corrects. I kiss him softly. I love you. I love you too. Across the gala, I see Blake Sutherland. He raises his glass in acknowledgement. I raise mine back. No hard feelings. Just two professionals who found their way. What are you thinking about? Atlas asks. How insane this all is, I admit. How 6 months ago, I thought you three could barely stand me. We could barely stand ourselves, Rowan says. Being near you and not being able to claim you was torture. And now we get to claim you every day, Kieran says. And it's still not enough. Greedy alphas, I tease. You're greedy alphas, Atlas corrects. Mine, I agree softly. The music starts. Couples move to the dance floor. Kieran stands, offers his hand. Dance with me? I take it. Always. On the dance floor, he holds me close, and I breathe in his scent, feel his heartbeat against mine. Thank you, he says quietly. For what? For giving us a chance. For being brave enough to trust us. You were brave first, I point out. Breaking your engagement. Fighting your father. Was easy compared to what you did, he interrupts. You risked your career, your reputation, everything. For us. For me too, I correct. I chose this because I wanted it. Do you still want it? I pull back to look at him. Every day. His smile is soft, real, completely mine. Good, he says. Because you're stuck with us now. All three of you. All three of us, he confirms. And looking around the gala, at Rowan and Atlas, watching us with possessive fondness, at the company we've built together, at the life we're creating, I realize something. That blizzard, that tiny room, that impossible situation, it gave us what we needed. Not a choice, exactly. But the push we needed to finally make one, and I'd do it all again. Every awkward moment, every terrified confession, every public scandal. Because this us is worth it. What are you thinking about? Kieran asks. 1 room, 1 bed, I say. He laughs. And the storm that left us no choice. Except we did have a choice, I correct. We chose each other. We did, he agrees. Best choice I ever made. Me too. The music plays, we dance, and somewhere in the back of my mind I thank that blizzard. For forcing us together, for giving us no escape, for making us face what we'd been running from for 4 years. Sometimes you need to be trapped to find freedom. Sometimes you need 1 room and 1 bed to realize the person you've been avoiding is exactly the person you need. And sometimes, the worst storm of your life brings you the best thing that ever happened to you. The song ends. We return to our table where Rowan and Atlas are waiting. About time, Atlas says. We were about to come claim our dances. Greedy, I tease. Always, he agrees, standing and offering his hand. My turn. I dance with Atlas next, his grip firm and possessive, his scent wrapping around me like comfort. Do you remember the first time I criticized your work? He asks. The Henderson merger analysis. You found 12 errors that weren't actually errors. I was looking for an excuse to talk to you, he admits, and failing spectacularly at being subtle. You called my methodology charmingly naive. I meant brilliant, but unconventional, he says. I just couldn't say that without revealing too much. You're impossible, I say fondly. I'm yours, he corrects. After Atlas, Rowan takes his turn. His dancing is smooth, practiced, effortless. I have a confession, he says. Another one? The anonymous gifts on your desk, the coffee that appeared when you were working late, the parking spot that mysteriously opened up near the entrance. That was you? All of us, he says. We took turns. Kieran handled the coffee schedule. Atlas arranged the parking. I left the books and journals we thought you'd like. I thought I had a secret admirer. You did. 3 of them. He spins me gently. We were terrible at staying away from you. Good, I say, because I don't want you to stay away anymore. Never again, he promises. Later, when the gala winds down and we're back at the penthouse the 4 of us now share, I stand on the balcony looking out at the city. Kieran joins me, wrapping a blanket around my shoulders. Cold? He asks. A little, but it's nothing like that lodge. God, that lodge. He laughs. I thought I was going to freeze to death in that chair. You should have just gotten in the bed from the start. And revealed how badly I wanted to be close to you? No, thank you. I lean back against him. Do you ever think about how different things would be if the storm hadn't happened? Every day, he says quietly. We might still be pretending, still fighting it, still miserable. The storm forced our hand. It gave us an excuse to stop lying, he agrees. Both to ourselves and to you. Best, worst storm ever. Agreed. He kisses the top of my head, though I could have done without Blake Sutherland. He ended up being fine. Helped us, actually. By trying to blackmail you into leaving us? By making us face the situation head-on instead of hiding, I correct. Without him, we might have tried to keep this secret. That would have been so much worse. Kieran is quiet for a moment. You're right. As much as I hated him in that moment, he forced us to be honest publicly. No more hiding. No more hiding, I echo. Atlas and Rowan join us on the balcony, bringing wine and warmth. What are we talking about? Rowan asks. The blizzard, I say. How everything changed. 1 room, 1 bed, and 3 idiots in love who were too scared to admit it, Atlas says. Hey, Kieran protests. I wasn't scared. You were terrified, Rowan counters. We all were. Fair, Kieran admits. We stand there together, the 4 of us, looking out at the city lights. You know what I think? I say. What? They ask in unison. I think we were always going to end up here, storm or no storm, 1 room or separate rooms. Eventually, we would have found our way to each other. You think so? Atlas asks. I know so, because this, I gesture between us. This is inevitable. We're fated mates. You said it yourself. We are, Kieran agrees softly. So maybe the storm didn't create this. Maybe it just accelerated what was always meant to happen. I like that, Rowan says. Makes it feel less like random chance and more like destiny. Destiny, Atlas repeats. Never thought I'd believe in that. Do you now? I ask. He looks at me with those intense gray eyes. When it comes to you, yes. My heart swells. Come on, Kieran says, tugging me toward the door. It's late, and we have the board meeting in the morning. More meetings, I groan. Being a partner is exhausting. Worth it, though? Rowan asks. Completely worth it. Inside, in the bedroom we all share, I get ready for bed surrounded by the scents of the alphas I love. Sandalwood and frost, amber and smoke, mint and stone. And underneath it all, coffee and rain. My own scent, no longer hidden behind blockers. We climb into bed together. No awkwardness now, no careful distance, just warmth and comfort and the certainty that this is where we belong. Good night, I murmur. Good night, they chorus. And as I drift off to sleep, wrapped in their arms, I think one more time about that tiny room at the Frosted Pine Lodge. 1 room, 1 bed, and the blizzard that changed everything. Best storm of my life. Thank you for staying with Damien and the Wolf Triplets until the very end. Their story began with a blizzard that forced them together, but in truth, they always had a choice. They chose to be honest, to be brave, to fight for what they wanted. And if you love this story of forced proximity turned real love, make sure you're subscribed because there are more impossible romances waiting. More storms, more confessions, more moments that remind us why we believe in happily ever after. Thank you for being here. You're the reason these stories exist.